If you've ever known anyone who uses cast iron regularly, then you've probably heard them say something along the lines of never use soap on your cast iron. And as somebody who is a bona fide cast iron lover, I'm here to tell you that that's strictly not true. So stay with me while I attempt to explain myself and I take you through the entire process of seasoning your cast iron from start to finish. Now, I could write a manifesto about all of the reasons why everyone should be using cast iron, but if it looks like this, then it's probably going to be pretty useless, which means we need to take this and turn it into something that is usable and beautiful and will function for you for years. So let's do that today. I did this just for you. Look at all that nastiness. I recommend using this method of pre-seasoning for old, unusable cast iron pieces like this, or brand new pieces that you picked up at, say, Target but have yet to use. Basically, no matter how rusted or painted or brand new or new to you your cast iron is, it'll benefit from my method of pre-seasoning at least once at the beginning of its lifetime in your household. And yes, before you ask, I really did once find a piece of cast iron that had been painted on and still managed to restore it to health using this method a long time ago. After you've pre-seasoned your cast iron, you'll be able to use it in all its non-stick, tasty glory for years to come. To pre-season your cast iron, you'll need good ventilation, an oven, heat-safe gloves, steel wool, a clean, soft sponge, vinegar and baking soda, maybe at least, dish soap, yep, I said it, paper towels or linen dish towels, you can use either or both like I'm doing, and oil with a high smoke point. Choosing your seasoning oil is mostly down to preference, but what I will say is that the higher the smoke point of your oil, the more likely it is that your pan is going to be able to be used for more things. So today, my choice is pure canola oil, or if you're in the UK, rapeseed oil, and it has about a 400-degree Fahrenheit or about 200-degree Fahrenheit smoke point if you're in the UK. And what this will do is it'll be about mid-range smoke point, so most things in most ovens will be able to bake or to cook on the stovetop using this specific type of oil. I would also caution against using anything that is synthetic or is, quote, pre-seasoning of any kind, because that stuff has harsh chemicals in it and it's unnecessary for this. Your best bet is just to have a standard oil of your choosing. And of course, before we get started, I should probably mention that doing anything involving a stovetop is going to be quite hot, so make sure that you're using protective hand coverings whenever you touch your cast iron once you've started heating it. And if you're somebody under the age of 18, make sure that your parent is at least there for help and for guidance along the way. And also kudos to you for trying something that's so ambitious. Very nice. So right before we get started, if you do try this, please let me know in the comments below how it worked out for you and what you've made with your cast iron since seasoning it. We'll start with the hardest part, which is getting off the rust or anything else that is keeping our cast iron from exhibiting its natural black color. And if necessary, you can soak it in vinegar water for about an hour to loosen up the rust and then neutralize the soak with baking soda. But if it cleans without soaking like this one did, then that's even better and it'll save you some time. So then after you have soaked it, it's time to scrub, and then you're going to scrub and scrub some more until the surface is free of any rust or potential flakiness that could have come from the old seasoning. Once it's completely clean of all that nastiness, it's still going to look a little bit red, but you'll be able to tell that the rust is gone because, well, it isn't that deep orangey red that's associated with rust anymore. So then you'll heat it up just to make sure that it is dry completely, and then you'll rub it down with a generous coating of oil. Try to get as much of the surface covered as possible, bottom and handle included. Remove any excess oil with another towel. Next, lay the pan face down in the oven on the top rack. If you want to avoid any possibility of drippage from the oil, then you'll want to place a cooking sheet or some foil on the tray underneath to catch any oil that might drip. Next, open your windows and turn on some kitchen fans. You'll want to keep the place as ventilated as possible because we're going to bake the oil past its smoke point on purpose. That's what's going to form the nonstick surface coating of your cast iron, and it can get a little smoky and sometimes a little stinky too. Turn your oven on to its highest point, which is usually 450 or 500 degrees Fahrenheit in the United States anyway, and then bake the pan upside down for at least an hour. After that hour, if the oil is still, well, a little bit oily, and as such it doesn't appear to have set properly yet, then you can just return it to the oven for another half an hour and check again. Once the oil has set, then you're going to repeat the process again as many times as you need to in order to get the coating that is consistent and black. So again, you're going to add the oil, rub it down, remove all the excess oil, and then return it to the oven for at least another hour until it bakes through again. So now it's just out of the oven, and you can see it has this really lovely black shine to it that did not exist before. It was all rusty. It was rusty and it was red and it wasn't as shiny as this. I can repeat the seasoning process and just put it in the oven with some oil over and over and over again until it has a perfectly shiny sheen to the extent that I would like it to, so that all of the blackness is consistently shiny instead of just very shiny on the outside edge, but inconsistent in the middle. In the end, it took me 4 different rounds of hour-long baking sessions to get to the coating that I thought looked nice and was consistent enough to be able to keep the surface for as long as I possibly can use this cast iron skillet. I owe a deep debt of gratitude to the Crafty Club for making this and other videos possible, as well as some of my oldest followers for requesting this blog post over 2 years ago before Old Fashioned AF was even a channel. So thank you so much for those of you who requested this, for sticking with me. If you'd like to become a member yourself, simply tap on the link in the description below, and you'll get access to a backlog of member-exclusive videos, as well as all my favorite vintage and historically themed links all over the internet. I hope to see you there. In upcoming videos, I'm going to show you how to keep your cast iron in tip-top shape and also share some recipes that I love making in cast iron skillets. But in the meantime, let me know, do you have any cast iron at home? What have you been making in it recently? Tell me in the comments below, and I will see you soon for another video.